Why would you go and buy a 10-year-old truck for about half the price of this when you can get so much better and so much more? Because Ford has done a great job of upgrading their trucks. I don't know how you can defend this purchase.
Well, since when is newer better? Like, people always say that, but I don't think it's true. And I think this is a way better truck. It still holds up 10 years later.
I think statistically speaking, with everything along the lines, newer is not always better, you're right. But when it comes to this, it clearly is. I doubt you can even get your little truck up that hill because it's going to be dying of exhaustion.
Okay, big man over here. Well, actually, not little man driving a big truck. He's got a lot of, words to say about my truck. This thing can easily make it up that hill. You know what?
I think we need a full-blown comparison between these two, and that's what we're gonna give you guys right now. My name's Jason.
My name is Trent.
You're watching GaudinX. Now, before we put your truck to the test and see if it can make it up that hill, I wanna talk about the design language of these two, because yes, a lot has changed in 10 years, and personally speaking, this looks great, but I just preferred that. I think I like the design of this. It has a little bit more personality, a little bit more flair. Yes, this is a little more cohesive and modern looking and fancy, but I just like how yours looks. I think the embleming on it, even on the side with the F-250, as well as the Power Stroke 6.7 liter badging, it just looks better. And I mean, I'm willing to concede a point here because I really do think that your truck just stands out a little bit more.
Honestly, I think it's kind of funny that you said it because I like the way the front end of this truck looks a little bit more. I like the wide front end, like the grille. It's a lot bigger, so I feel like it just has a bigger presence on the road. As far as like the back half of the truck, not much has changed. It's got like the different door handles and stuff like that, but I feel like a lot of like the big difference between these two is just the front end.
It really is. And the modern take of this car throughout the entire thing is you're gonna have better technology through it and throughout, but the biggest thing we need to talk about that has been improved in the modern era is going to be this 6.7 liter turbo diesel engine. Mine creates 475 horsepower, I'm quite sure, just shy of that 500 mark, and 1,050 pound-feet of torque, just absolutely demolishing the previous generation. Yes, in horsepower, it's like a 35 point difference with 440, but that torque number from 860 to 1,050, that's almost 200 more pound-feet of torque, and it's paired to a better transmission. You are stuck with that 6-speed automatic, and this is a 10-speed, giving you a smoother and better driving experience overall. I mean, this engine absolutely kicks your butt, and the modern era wins hands down, in my opinion here.
Okay, so it's to be expected that these newer trucks, all newer cars, trucks, everything, they're always going to improve over time. But that's not to say that this thing still isn't definitely capable of basically every daily need that most people are going to have. I can understand if you're doing like some massive hauling construction jobs and you need those big trucks, but that's why you see people getting the F-350, bigger trucks than this. I feel like for this is more the standard. You're taking your dirt bikes out, you're taking stuff like that, your trailers. This thing is more than capable. I think the bigger number doesn't always necessarily mean that you're gonna get basically more bang for your buck.
I think I can agree with you on that statement, but what it really comes down to is if you think about it, like fast food, you could eat that every single day and you'd probably feel like absolute garbage, but you'd survive. Now, if you go out and eat some nice meals, do some meal prep, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna look better, and you're gonna have a better time. Yes, that can pass, but it doesn't really give you everything you want because this truck is just so above that with the seamless driving experience. And yes, that one's a little bit more Riley and whatnot, and maybe you find that fun, but in 10 years, this truck's still gonna be holding up just about as good as that one is, but that's gonna be older in like 5 years. It'll be 15 years old, and it's just not gonna be able to keep up at the same capacity as this for the price difference that isn't that crazy. I know you got a killer deal on this one. This one in particular was worth how much?
I got it for just about $30,000.
$30,000. This starts at about 60 grand, but the average used market for one of these is going to be closer to 40. And at that point, you're not really having too much of a difference in the price point for what you're getting. This is $20,000 more, but you know what? You're gonna probably have this for an extra 10 years than that one. So it really does just come down to that. Personally speaking, I think newer is better in this capacity. Everything but looks, I'll give you, but you would disagree.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you, but I think let's just jump into it. Let's take it up the hill and let's see if this thing can still hold up with that.
I don't even know if it'll make it up the hill. Now, Trent, I get it. It's okay to be a little bit scared that your truck's not going to make it up the hill, but you know what? Everyone needs a boost of confidence every once in a while, and you know what? We were lucky enough to be sponsored by W for today's video, and if you guys use code GaudinX at the checkout, you're going to be able to get 10% off your order and try giving yourself an energy boost with their signature coffee bean extract to get rid of all of those jitters, letting you have the opportunity to have energy and maybe even get up all those hills in your life, Trent. I think that this might be a great thing for you to do to cope with the defeat that you're going to get when you get stuck.
I think I'm definitely going to need to order some after hearing you yap. I'm getting real tired of you talking about my truck. But anyways, let's just get right into it. Let's take this bad boy up this hill, even though you don't think it will.
Let's see how I can handle it.
God, you're such a hater. You know, you should drink some W and less haterade.
That might be helpful. Now, moving on to your car on the inside here, before we get to the full thing, I do want to point out a few of the features that I think definitely feel a little bit archaic, even for a 2010. First and foremost, this infotainment layout and everything.
This is a woman. This is
2015. Sorry.
Get it right?
My bad. It doesn't help your case that I thought it was looking a little more outdated as a 2010. But anyways, looking at your truck, a lot of these materials in here are definitely cheaper than what you'd expect in a Lariat. I mean, you have this hard plastic every single place that you look on the inside of this vehicle. There's a lot less care put into a build like this, and that's kind of disappointing. Yes, you're getting it at a discount, but imagine buying one of these new. You're paying this much for not necessarily the best quality. Yes, you have some nice features through and throughout, but I still don't think it knocks anything out of the park.
So what I'm going to say is, like, the hard plastic I get, it looks cheap, feels cheap. But honestly, cars 10 years ago, all of them are built like that, kind of. So I'm like, for this being a 10-year-old car, it kind of keeps up par with cars from that generation. But to be honest, it's a truck. I'm not buying a truck for luxury. I'm buying it for its capabilities. Although luxury things are a little bit nicer,
yeah,
it's still
better
comfortable. It's still comfortable. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I like the feeling of these seats. It's super intuitive. I feel like it's really easy to use all the stuff in here. Sometimes, like these newer cars, it's really complicated. And I hate that.
I personally think that it comes with time, and I get it. You may be more comfortable in a truck like this, but all the features do get better when we look at that truck. But let's just try. Let's see how you can do. Let's put some pedal to the metal, see how you get up this hill, see how it handles.
This thing is gonna handle like a beauty. Don't you worry. This thing was made for this. Not really,
made for something, but I don't know if I'd consider this exactly what it was made for.
You know what? Dude, all you want to do is just hate.
I'm just not the biggest fan of this. I don't feel like it held up, but I feel like the money you're spending.
It's driving great.
It is doing its good job of getting up the hill, but there's just such a feeling of disarray in this vehicle when you're going up. You know, there isn't that level of just feeling confined, concise, and safe. I mean, this is oh my god. There's a couple. We're just going up little hills, man.
That wasn't a little. That was a big hill.
Okay, maybe it was a little bit bigger of a bump, but man, you just don't get the same feeling of just like safety and comfortability that you do in the newer one. And like, I get it. Power-wise, you're making the journey, you're doing the distance, but it just isn't the same.
I think honestly, it does fine. It's a little bit rough. But then again, this thing isn't built for like off-roading, honestly. It's built for those tough jobs, hauling stuff. And it made up the hill, it's a pretty rough road, to be honest.
It's pretty bad, but I think you're going to be impressed when we come up in the other truck because it's going to handle it so much better.
I don't know. I think this thing did a pretty good job. It's 10 years old. What more could you expect? It gets the job done. And you know what? I'm interested in seeing the difference that your truck does. You talked about it being so much better. I would expect it to be at least the suspension to be smoother.
It hopefully will, and I think we'll just hop in that truck, give our best comparison that we can.
Sounds good. So it's my turn to complain about your truck.
You can complain, but I do want to say a few things just off the straight initiative here. We talked about luxurious features being a nice addition, but I do want to talk about the fact that I have so many off-road features that are going to make this drive 10 times easier and so much more enjoyable. So yeah, feel free to start.
You know what? All those features, they make you soft, brother. They make you soft.
They do make you soft.
So, first thing I'm going to say I noticed is you're talking about just like the dash, my truck being that hard plastic. This one, it's got hard plastic as well, just not as noticeable, not as much. But it's got this on the dash. I don't know what this is, because you got leather in cars. You got like the real leather.
Yeah.
You got the fake leather. Then you got this stuff. It's I don't know what it is. It's like sort of soft. It's got stitching. I don't know why, because it looks like plastic almost.
It's a nice soft touch material. I think it's definitely an upgrade from whatever plastic you were doing.
It's something, bro. You got, honestly, I mean, not much has changed center console wise other than yours has gotten bigger.
Yep.
Your screen is bigger. Your climate control is bigger. Everything's just gotten bigger.
Everything is bigger
right
and
here.
better, baby.
I'm not sure if I'd say better.
Nope.
But bigger for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's a Ford. It's not super luxurious. You got your nice things in here. It feels brighter in this truck. That's the biggest thing I noticed compared to the other one.
It's a lot just more open and inviting of a car. It feels much better to be in. And I mean, you probably didn't even notice by how smooth the footage is in comparison to the other one, but we're already on our way up the hill here. Like, it is just a nice, seamless drive. Like, I don't have to put too much
You know what?
power.
I'm gonna say you're going real slow. There we go. Ah, look at that. I'm
You
feeling
go up a little bit.
bumps.
But bumps are no.
Hey, you gotta turn.
Oh,
bro.
yeah, no, I see it. Don't you worry. But this is nowhere near as bad. Look at that. Oh, you're exaggerating. But
I'm not even exaggerating.
it is much nicer in this than it was in the other one. You have all the features to keep you safe. You have better visibility. You have so many more features. The drive modes help a lot. And it just does everything you want it to do. Now, I could literally just floor it on this last bit, and I'm not worried at all. I am so glued to the ground that I can bump up this hill with no worries through in and throughout. Whereas the other one, you were kind of scared shit, like.
Okay,
scared.
to be honest, I handicapped myself. My own fault doing. I forgot to change it into four-wheel drive, so I did that too. My fault. I'll probably get hate in the comments because
That is insane. But
yeah, I decided to handicap myself. But I will say, it felt a little bit smoother. Either way, though, I will say these trucks are not meant for this, because if you were to do stuff like this lot, and we're on specifically a dirt road, if you were to take this on like off-road, I'm not sure how long the suspension in these things would last.
Yeah, they're definitely not built for this, but that's what we're talking about. It's just having the capability to do it when necessary. And this one handles it way better.
Hey,
I mean,
I had the capability, it just didn't.
it just didn't do it as good. And that's the big takeaway, I think, from these two overall. It's you're just trading for a more luxurious and just nice feeling experience overall. And that's the thing, Trent. I feel like at the end of the day, no matter what happens, yes, that's a cheaper option, and that's really how it just stands, in my opinion. If you have the money to get a new car and you want something better, I say even skip to the next generation from that just a little bit more up. You don't have to get brand new. I understand getting used to save money, but these are going around the price of some used versions of the 2022s and whatnot. You can still get the better, more powerful truck overall without having to worry as much.
Here's what I'll say. I think going for the user, I think it's a good way to go buy a truck, especially if you're not into all the tech, all the luxury features, and you just need a truck, say, to get to work, help you with work. If you go find something that's cheap and this thing is still reliable, I think this is the way to go. It's newer, but it's also a lot more expensive.
It is. It's definitely a bit more of your buck, but I do think being in either of these trucks would be a pleasure, depending on what you need to do. And I think that's what it is. At the end of the day, it comes down to what you guys would rather prefer. Me, I'm going with this. Trent's going with that one. But let us know what you would go with down in the comments below. Leave a like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see you in the next one.